cancer scare. And that for me was me again praying to God, please don't let this be cancer. Please, my daughter needs her mother. Please, I need to be around.
Hey there, welcome to the Testify LI Podcast, the faith-based podcast designed to inspire, encourage, and strengthen you in your faith journey. Whether you're new to believing, walking through trials, or standing firm in God's promises, this is a place where testimonies come to life. Here we share real stories of transformation, hope, and unwavering faith, because your testimony has power.
We honor you, your voice is strong. Your ups, your downs, you still belong. We celebrate, we laugh, we grow. Your faith can spark a brand new glow. A place for truth, a place for grace. To lift each other, find our faith. We get real, we lift you high. Have some fun, laugh till we cry. Life's too short to fake a thing, so come and share what God's been doing. Love out loud, live so free. Hear the stories, find your destiny. Testify, Long Island. Whoa, yeah. This is Testify, Long Island.
All right, welcome back to the podcast, guys. How are we doing today? My name's DJ. And all right, family, we get ready because this week on Testify Long Island, we're sitting down with someone's story who is going to lift your spirit up and leave you inspired. Today, we're speaking with Eunice Mourato, is a woman of unstoppable faith, a proud immigrant, and devoted single mom to an amazing 5-year-old, and a passionate accountant who's also studying for her CPA. But that's just the start. Eunice is a leader in her community, a board member, and a woman on a mission, using her voice and her journey to uplift, encourage, and pour into others. From balancing spreadsheets to walking boldly in her God-given purpose, she moves through life with wisdom, resilience, and grace. After growing up in the Catholic Church, Eunice recently made a beautiful decision to be baptized, stepping boldly into her deeper relationship with Jesus. She's passionate about mentorship, especially for other working moms, and believes in showing the world that no matter what your circumstances, God's plan for your life is alive and well. So this conversation is packed with heart, faith, and encouragement. You'll want to probably hit replay after this and just turn it up and share this among your friends. So welcome, Eunice. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
Thank you for coming out.
No
It's a
problem.
cloudy day today, but I think
It is a cloudy day. This weather lately has been a little iffy, but
interesting summer.
yeah, for sure.
So you want to share a little bit about your faith journey? How did you come to know to Christ?
Sure. So I was born in Portugal, and in Portugal, you could literally trip and fall onto a church. There's so many churches, like even in my hometown, there's like 4. And so when we immigrated to America, church was always something that was important to my family. Our weeks were surrounded by Sunday Mass. And eventually I went through all my sacraments. I taught religious education in the Roman Catholic Church, and it was a vital part of my life. But I think it was a part that felt like I was marking something off as done. I don't think I was really connecting. I don't think I really understood. And I think my parents, honestly, their perspective, I think, was also this is something we should be doing. I don't think they themselves have ever had like a very close connection to God. I know my mom prays every day, but again, I don't know if it's that same like conversation. And so I eventually got married in the church, and I remember going to meet with the priest, and my fiance at the time had only been baptized, and I was very taught that you had to do all your sacraments in order. So I kept saying to him, like, be prepared to come in, and he's going to tell you, like, you need to do your other sacraments before we get married. And I was shocked because we sat down, and the priest goes, well, for an additional $2,000 donation, we'll do the ceremony. And I remember walking away feeling very pleased that I was going to be able to do it because I was happy that like I was fulfilling that line of sacraments for myself, but also feeling a little bit weirded out by how it had gone down. And so I got married. I had a huge, beautiful mass, and eventually there was a lot that happened, and we decided to get divorced. And the divorce for me was like a turning point in my relationship with God. I felt really shunned by the church. I felt like I had a scarlet letter on my chest, and I felt like God didn't want me anymore, truthfully. And so I kind of stepped back. I stopped going to church, and I would have a conversation with Jesus if I was desperate, if I needed something, but I didn't have a relationship really. And I really thought organized religion was a sham. And then eventually I got pregnant with my daughter, Elena, and having a child was a moment that I knew there had to be a God. Like there was no doubt in my mind, Jesus exists. And again, I felt this pull, but I didn't know how to connect. So this kind of was in the back of my mind as I had my daughter for a long time. I chose not to baptize her, and we still didn't go to church. But I was feeling this kind of pull, but not knowing how to really go about it. And then, at one point, I had last year in January a cancer scare, and that for me was me again praying to God, please don't let this be cancer. Please, my daughter needs her mother. Please, I need to be around. And I remember praying in Portugal, there's this famous city called Fatima. And you kind of make offerings, right? You kind of negotiate a barter almost. And you're like, I'm going to make this prayer. And if you give me what I'm praying for, then I promise to do this. And so I had promised there's a path that you can go on your knees and go all the way down to kind of like the shrine. I had promised when I go to Portugal, I'll take the path. Please make this cancer not be real. And it wasn't. So when I went to Portugal, I remember taking that path and just praying the whole time, like, I'm so tired of only coming to you when I need you. Like, help me build a relationship. And I was going through it and kind of I had done that sacrifice or whatever of the knee thing, and I came back and I remember still feeling a little bit unsure. And I have close family friends who lost their younger cousin, very young, very tragic, very horrible. And I remember feeling, and they're a very religious family, very religious. They always encouraged me to go to church with them. I had gone a couple times. And I remember having a conversation after the services and everything. A few weeks later, we went to Chili's, actually. Like, I remember saying, I feel God in this Chili's tonight, like The Office. And I remember asking them, as believers, how do you reconcile a loss like that with God? Like, how does God allow that to happen to you? And they said it was always in his plan. And like, they were of course devastated, but that peace they had, to me, I felt like unlocked something in my brain. Like, I want that peace for myself. And so I remember reaching out to one of the members of that family, Kevin. He's always been super spiritual, very involved in the religious community, and asking him, where do I start? How do I start? I don't know where to start. And he had said, just start talking to God like you would a friend. Just have a conversation. He goes, download the YouVersion app, the Bible, and do like their daily little routine they have. Start there and see how you feel, and God will work through you. And eventually, he did. And in August of last year, I remember I had already been starting the app and reading the Bible shortly, the small scriptures, nothing major. But I remember I had had kind of an argument with a really close friend, and driving home and being so distraught and crying out loud, like, God, I'm trying my best, but I feel like you don't want me. I feel like I can't even come to you. Like, I'm too far gone, and all these different things. And I had gotten home, and I had heard of the church, local church at the time. And I remember opening their website and seeing a video that was like how to read a Bible. And I'm like, okay, let me just start there. And so I watched it. It was 45 minutes. It was 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. You know, I was like, wow, really crazy plans. But I read it. I listened to it. And at the end, the pastor, Michael, started saying a comment like, you may believe that, you know, you're not good enough. And I remember it was like word for word, the things I had prayed in the car out loud. And I was like, all right, I hear you. You know, like I'll be there tomorrow. And so the next day I went to local, and it's really helped develop my relationship with Jesus. And I've just been here ever since. So
That's amazing.
yeah,
Thank you for sharing that story.
no
That's very
problem.
beautiful. And I'm sorry for the things you went through. And,
Thank you.
during that time, like something that comes to mind is like, what was your transition? Like, how long were you in Portugal before you also came?
I was
the
very
United States?
young.
Okay.
I was under 3 years old when my family came, but
Okay.
it was a struggle for quite a bit. We lived in like a 1-bedroom basement apartment for a long time. And then eventually my parents saved money and bought a house. But, you know, it was definitely an upbringing that wasn't the easiest. I had everything that I thought I needed as a child. I never wanted for anything. But, you know, my parents, they worked a lot and it was hard. So, yeah. But we go to Portugal every single summer for like a month at a time and
Oh,
visit our
that's nice.
family. Yeah, it was nice.
That's awesome. I've never been to Portugal, so
You should definitely go. It's very trendy now. Everyone's going.
it?
I'm like, yeah. It's funny. One of my best friends, he travels everywhere, but he went, he went a few years ago for the first time. He was like, "This is where you were going the whole time when we were in like middle school. Like you were going there." I'm like, "Yeah," but they just knew like I would go away for the summer, and it's like
Oh.
incredible. I was going to like this beautiful European country, but
that's amazing.
yeah.
So what was like that specific moment? Do you remember, like, was it when you were watching that video, like how to read the Bible, or like maybe a little prior to that, like when God was stirring? What was like, do you have like a light switch moment? Like, God, you're there. Like, do you remember that moment at all? Like, or was
I
it a little
think-
progressive after?
Yeah, I think it was kind of a slow brew for me. I think that I felt moments, and now looking back, there were so many times. Like, I remember just looking back at my life and knowing God never left me, but in the moment I felt so alone. But now I can kind of pinpoint, it's easier to see it, right, looking back. But I think in general, there was a specific moment I had joined a starting point group.
Okay.
That was my initial thing, I think, that night. I joined a starting point group and I thought, you know, might as well go to service tomorrow. It kind of seemed perfect for what I was kind of coming back to religion, didn't know, this, that, or the other. And I said, this sounds really good. And I remember halfway through the program thinking a certain piece about afterlife, like knowing that I would see my grandfather, just feeling very secure that there's heaven and that I don't have to worry about death. And that piece was something I never had. And I feel like that moment I was like, oh yeah, like I need to get baptized. Like I'm there,
Yeah.
So, but it still took a little bit. I felt like with baptism and everything, I felt the need to really talk my parents through it. I didn't want to kind of cause them to have any concerns. And I felt for a while, even going to church, I was kind of sheltering them from me even going. It sounds dumb now, but I didn't want to feel judged, or I guess it was like a really special positive thing to me, and I didn't want to somehow cause any input to mess that up.
Okay.
But it was a positive experience when I talked to them about it, and yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, how has your relationship now with God, since you've been baptized, has it shaped the way you see your view and your purpose in life? Like what you do, whether it's work, whether it's being a mother, different things you do.
Definitely, for sure. I think with work, I'm a little more patient. I think I'm a little more patient in that aspect. I think with being a mother, I'm a single mother. Her dad is very involved. I always felt a little bit of anxiety when she has to go with him because I am a control freak in a way, and so I like to be in control of everything going on. And so sometimes I definitely would have anxiety about like, oh, she's gonna go here, she's gonna go there. But now I kind of just pray on it and say, God, it's in his plan, whatever happens, he's watching out for her, he's watching out for me. And I think that has brought me a lot of peace in that aspect. I think the biggest thing for me has been my anxiety, like helping that, like feeling like I can just pray, talk to God. I'm feeling this. Just please take this, anxiety away from my heart, or help lead me in a direction that will move me away from the situation that I'm having anxiety about. And I feel like that has been the biggest change for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Does the anxiety, have you felt it like subside a lot since you've started doing that?
Yeah,
Or-
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I feel like even people have said, like, you feel lighter.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, yeah, that's Jesus.
Amen. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. You
He
feel
really does
lighter.
that.
But I feel like there was a long time. I'm an accountant, so I get very stressed out. Very stressed out with work.
I would be with that many numbers.
Yeah, it's a lot, especially during busy season. And I feel like I rely on God, and I kind of let him work through me. And I think honestly also going to church on Sunday for me is such a reset, but in the best way. Like, I know friends who have talked to me and they're like, I don't believe in church, like whatever. And I'm like, I totally get you can have your own relationship with God. I think everyone has their own way of doing things. But to me, I kind of see it as I can go work out, I can go for a walk, but it just hits different in a gym with like-minded people. And I feel the same way about church. Like, I can definitely pray on my own, but it just hits different coming on Sunday, seeing people you like, talking to people, hearing a message makes you think, resets you a little bit. I feel like that has also made such an impact in my life just in general for my week. So it's been it's been something that I didn't know I was missing until I started doing it. So.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little more about like how, like, with being involved in church, like how much that has changed, like
Yeah.
your perception? I'd say of religion, of relationships with God in general.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when I grew up, Roman Catholic Church is very stern. They're very, you're in a box. You come in, you sit down. I remember actually as a child getting yelled at in church because I brought a little purse. You have to dress to the nines, and I brought a little purse, and I had a little lipstick in there. And I remember I took my lipstick out and started praying. My mom goes, stop. The priest is going to see you. You know what I mean? Like little things like that. You had to sit there, be quiet, shut up, listen, and that was it. And we did have like kids services once a week, but in general, it was a very structured, I don't know. I think now coming to a Christian church, I just feel like it's kind of Roman Catholic seems very sad to me. Like it's very like, I don't know, doom and gloom and God's going to judge you. And I feel now going to a Christian church, I feel lighter when I come in. The music, definitely I've connected so much with the music. I literally come a lot of times for whatever song is playing that week because that's something I didn't grow up with. We had our hymns and that was it. So I think that's definitely changed. And I think also when I was in the Catholic Church, the prayers, I feel, maybe it was the way I specifically was taught, but they are also very structured. It's like you're having a hard time. All right, you're going to pray this rosary. You're going to do 2 Ave Marias and 1 Our Father, 10 Ave Marias, 1 Our Father. And I feel like it really wasn't a relationship with God. Like I didn't feel like I could casually talk to him. It felt always very like formal.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that's been also a really big change coming to a Christian church and just feeling like God is like my homie, like I'm talking to him, he's talking to me, like
It's a
he
great way to
knows.
say it.
Yeah, you
he's
know
a
what I
homie.
mean? He's my homie and also like my father. But I think also having a child deeply shifted my perspective on who God is. I really connected with that idea of as a parent, you are always pretty much trying to discipline your child, but also they have free will. You can only do so much. And I feel like that answered a lot of questions in my head about why things happen, why God allows things to happen, because God can only try to guide you. But at the end of the day, we're humans, we're flesh, and things happen. But I feel like I really connected with that idea of like God is a parent figure trying to lead me in a way. And it really, I think, changed naturally a lot of behaviors that when I was, not talking to God, there were a lot of behaviors that I felt like I was doing, and I feel like now connecting with God naturally, I don't want to do those. And it's not like a rule I cannot break, but more so like, why would I treat God's child that way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why would I do that? And so I feel like that also kind of came from my relationship with church, and the small groups are amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I don't have one right now in the summer. I really wish I did, because it's just like such a good way to connect and talk with like-minded people, but also not like-minded people. You know, like there were so many good discussions I had in there that really helped, I think, get me in a frame of mind of being understanding and connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I know local church has a bunch of there is a bunch of summer events going on right now.
Yes.
So like community is so important.
Yeah.
I know they do like summer socials like every other week, every other Friday, and then Saturdays they're doing like local hikes now.
And the beach
The
days.
beach night, I think, is
The
this
play
Friday.
dates for the kids.
The play dates.
Yeah.
It's so crucial. And I know the summer break is needed. You know, we took
Yeah.
a couple weeks break for the podcast too, and it's just like, you know,
You needed to,
you
you
need a
needed to
little
come back
decompress.
stronger. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A little decompress and feel good, but also the community is so important, and just
100%.
keeping tabs with it. So how has your faith influenced the way you also approach your work now, like being an accountant specifically, you know, being patient, you know, have you seen more of the change and like your eyes, maybe the way you think, possibly like a different process maybe?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, I would say in general, in corporate world, you're going to be pretty, you know, religion doesn't ever come up as much, of course. But it's funny because I'm part of, you know, you have your close friends at work. And early last year, before a lot of things had happened, before the cancer scare, we had gone to a work trip in Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
And when we got there, there was a Christian conference happening. It was like Christian Con or something like that.
Okay.
And I remember me and my coworkers were like, oh God, like literally, oh God. You know, we were just like, ugh. It was like the hotel was like full of people with their Bibles studying in the lobby. Like we tried to go to brunch in the morning and everyone was trying to get in before the conference would start. I'm like, this is miserable. Like get these people out of my face. Like it's crazy, you know? And I remember hopping on an elevator and there was a young kid and he was like, oh, do you go to church? And I was like, no. He's like, well, maybe you should try. I'm like, no, you know? And so now my coworkers, the ones that went to the conference with me, they were like, that was the biggest plot twist of 2024, that like in the beginning of the year, you were literally like, oh God, these kids with their Bibles. And then you became a kid with your Bible. I'm like, it is pretty funny to think about. I mean, I was like, they were praying for me. It worked, you know?
It was not on your bingo card that year.
No, it was
at all.
not. It was not. It wasn't on theirs either. They were like shook. But it was, I mean, in work in general, I think, again, it's maybe more patient for sure. And I think just work is so stressful sometimes. I think it's kind of given me that, like, all right, I can only do so much, you know? Like, I can only do so much. And, you know, everything will be fine outlook. And I think maybe that's what's come of it. But I think in general, definitely, like, patience, 100%. That's the biggest change for me.
I'd say for work, yeah, you definitely depending like the business you're in, the career you're in, and also like your coworkers, like patience is like probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know,
And they've been really supportive, thankfully.
That's great. Like,
Yeah, like even with, I'm going to Brazil on a mission trip.
Awesome.
And they've been really supportive and asking what they can do. And we had like a pizza fundraiser. My office ordered a bunch of pizza. So it's been really cool.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
When are you going on the Brazil trip?
July 31st.
That's awesome.
I
I'm
know.
so excited.
I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited.
I hear they speak Portuguese, so
So do I. So I have, you know, that in common.
There you go. You got the advantage right there over some other people.
Yeah, it should be really great. I'm excited. I'm nervous, but I keep praying and saying, you know, God wouldn't bring this into my life if he didn't mean for me to go on this trip.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's a challenge you faced in your life where you fully relied on God? Like it could have been before you're a believer, maybe after you've been baptized. Like, is there been any point like, God, I can't do this. I need you, whether you're believing stance or not. Do you recall any time?
I think the cancer scare,
Yeah.
for sure. I feel like that felt very out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would pray for the hands of the medical team doing the testing, but I would just pray for good news looking at the portal, which why do they even let us look at the portal before the appointment? It's
Yeah.
so rude.
You're like, I don't.
I'm like
any
throwing in
other test-
ChatGPT, like, what does this mean? Yeah, it's crazy.
Any other test, you can see it. It's like, okay, great, my blood work came back great, but now it's like the cancer one. Why do I have to see that?
Yeah. Like I'd be fine with checking my cholesterol, but please don't give me cancer results via my portal. But I think in that situation, my daughter was so small, and all I kept thinking was like, I can't do this she can't go on without me. And I know she would. I luckily have such a supportive family, and her dad is so great. Like, I know that she would be okay. But in that moment, I was just, God, please, please. I actually read a book. I can't remember the name of it now, but I remember reading something, and it was saying, like, the more desperate your life circumstances, the shorter the prayer gets,
Ooh,
right?
okay.
So it's like you can have a long prayer, but then sometimes it's just, God, please, please. And that's how I felt in that moment. Like, please just make this work out, make it okay. It was just like a desperation that I needed him to rely on. So
Yeah. I forget who it was. If it was like a youth pastor or a pastor back when I was younger in my faith journey, that they said, like, God knows the murmurs of your heart. That the words that you can't speak,
that's beautiful.
that God hears that, and He's translating what that is, whether you know how it can come out of your heart or not. Like when you're saying, like, God, please, whatever that translates to.
Yeah, he can
God,
hear it.
God hears the weight of our words and the weight of it, and what it means to be in those situations.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So how do you balance also now trusting God with taking action, whether it's a personal or a business decision?
I pray about it first and foremost. I pray that God puts, number one, the right people in my life surrounding those decisions, but also gives me clarity. I've prayed for that, I think, a lot over the past year. Just clarity, just knowledge. But in general, I think I just rely, you know what it is? I think having God on my side and feeling that connection gives me a lot of confidence to just move forward.
Yeah.
When I need to, and not kind of think about this, think about that. I still am thoughtful about things, but I think I feel a certain confidence knowing no matter what's going on, God has my back. Like no matter what, he wouldn't be having me do that if it wasn't the right thing at the moment. And if it's not the right thing, he'll be there to pick me up. You know what I mean? So I think that really has shaped my decision making and things like that.
Yeah. Have you rarely have felt it too?
Yeah, I have felt it. And I felt it also, I feel like I feel it a lot in song. Like I will drive sometimes to a work thing and I will have to like clean myself up when I get there because hearing music to me now is so spiritual. Like I just feel it in me. Like I feel like God is sitting right next to me when I'm listening to a certain song. It's like really crazy to feel that. But yeah, like the connection I think just helps support me and lift me through so much now.
Yeah. That's great. Like I know, especially like the music we do here at Local, it's so life changing. Like
It
I feel
is.
like so life giving.
Yeah.
Just feeling it and being able to connect with the songs, and we do a thing because we want to be able to make it connect with a lot of people. So we also call it music, not just worship music, but we call it music. So a lot more people who may not be believers yet also can connect with it in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and even initially there was a song I first heard. It wasn't at Local, but it was The Stories I'll Tell by Naomi Rain.
Oh, okay.
And I remember the song was basically about like going through different things, and then like one day I'll look back and I'll tell the story of like how God worked through me. And I remember initially feeling like already like I'm gonna be able to do that. Like there's no doubt in my mind. Like I'm gonna be able to tell my story one day. And so, well, thanks for giving me an avenue to tell my story.
That's how you got it right here. See?
There you go. Answered prayers. But yeah. But I love music has definitely shifted everything for me as far as my spirituality now.
Yeah. That's great. Do you have a favorite song, by the way, like other than Naomi Rain one?
Probably that one, The Stories I'll Tell.
That one?
But also, there's a local cafe shop that does like open mic nights.
Ooh.
They're Christian based. Like the
Okay.
owner goes to a local church, and then they have like they have Bible studies there and everything. But those open mic nights have exposed me to so many more songs too, because then I connect. You know what I mean? Like hearing it live is just it hits different, you know. And so I've found a lot of songs that way as well.
That's awesome. I don't know if you have any interest. Have you heard of Brandon Lake at all?
Yeah,
The singer.
yeah.
He's actually coming to UBS Arena in February and March next year.
Oh, I've been wanting so badly to go to like a live concert.
It is life changing. I'll say it on here, and that it's totally okay. Tori and I last August we got tickets to see Brandon Lake and Phil Wickham at Hershey.
Wow.
Next to Hershey Park, there it was a giant stadium,
Oh yeah.
and we got standing seats. So we got like early access. They were like $20 a ticket. It was insane.
That is
In
nuts.
Pennsylvania, like New York, you don't get $20 a
No,
ticket.
definitely not. That's
So-
why you got to go all the way to Pennsylvania.
Exactly. And we got it was like, I forgot, like standing room only kind of thing. It was at the stage, like at like hand level.
Wow.
And it filled up quick. So like, but we got there early, and the trip was, driving to Hershey is a trip.
Yeah, I just came back from there actually.
Oh,
we
really?
We spent a week in Lancaster.
That's awesome.
It was definitely a trip.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I forget where, I think we stayed in like Harrisburg or something. It was out
Nice,
there.
yeah.
And they, but that experience blows you away, especially like just like being involved in it, but also watching it. Now I'm a tech guy, so I was like also like
You're like taking notes.
I was taking
You're
notes,
like,
being
whoa.
mindful, and the way they also executed a lot of
Yeah.
things was done with excellence and grace, and it was far well done. So if they ever watch this podcast, congrats guys, great
Yeah,
job.
There you go. We're fans, big fans.
To hear everybody sing and be able to like, you felt it in the room. I think they
Feeling it.
reported after it in the arena there was over, I think, 11,000 people in this arena,
Wow.
which was insane. So like, but everybody that went on that tour, like both the bands and the people who attended, I saw nothing but positive comments.
Right.
It was just incredible experience. I actually got to like put my hand up and like kind of like wave at them, like
I saw you. You guys connected.
Yeah.
Connected.
It was awesome. So I'm hoping that we can go see
Yeah.
Brandon Lake again.
Yeah,
come
definitely.
the spring.
Let me know because I'm down. I loved recently. I think you went to that one local church had like a worship night in their church a few months ago,
Okay.
and I went with a bunch
Oh
of
yes,
people.
we had a prayer night. Yes.
Yes, and it's just it hits different. It really does. Like I remember there was one point where they turned off the lights and they were just playing without any of like the music. And I look over and there was like someone praying over their son or something. And it just brought me to tears, you know, like even now thinking about it will bring me to tears because it's just like so incredible to feel the Holy Spirit in the room in that moment. And you just feel surrounded, you know, it's amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. And the live music aspect of it is just alive, and just knowing our impacts of, what, I again, being on the flip side of the production side
like
of it,
knowing what that'll
seeing
do.
the impact and not, not knowing, but knowing, but not knowing, knowing yeah, we're going to have an impact, but also not knowing
Yeah.
what, what God's going to bring of it. Like,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised what life change can
No, I
happen.
literally I come for the message, but the songs to me, like I could watch the message online. I could catch up, But the reason I'm in the building is
Yeah.
for the music for sure. I'm like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Now that we took our random spin off here
Yeah.
so where was I? We're all about having fun here, by the way.
Yeah, a little detour. We're good.
Have you ever had to make a tough decision based on your faith, even if it wasn't the easiest choice? Like, I know I have came across it, like, because of my beliefs, I've like, I can't do that. Like, or has it been like, I've also had the kind of the opposite where it's like, this is going on, I have to do this. God, please back me up here. I don't know what's going to come of it.
Right, like support me in my decision to
Yeah.
do this. I don't know if I faced that yet. Again, I'm pretty new
Yeah.
in my faith journey now, but I think in general, a lot of the behaviors I was previously exhibiting or doing naturally fell by the wayside. Like, I'm not going to go out and party until 4 in the morning on a Saturday because I definitely want to go to church on Sunday morning. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be exhausted for that. So, naturally, I just don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So, I think that would be more so of what I've seen, but I haven't had kind of like a fork in the road. I have to choose this or that yet, but I'm sure it'll come. I'm sure
They'll
it'll
come and you'll turn to God. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's the best and probably scariest moments
Yeah.
of life. I know Tori and I have encountered it. I'll just share a little bit too.
Yeah.
Of with our sons. Both our sons have a seizure disorder, and it's been one of those things like, God, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's the right way to go. We've had one with behavioral issues, the other one went full like they called a stroke code at one point for the baby, and it was just heartbreaking and not knowing, like, God, take control of this. We're going to make the decisions as best we can, but support us in the right direction, what we need to go. So that seeing that and knowing God, got you back, got you back,
Got you. Yeah, he
got
got you.
your back. It's incredibly life changing.
It's funny because when I was in my starting point group, there's Nicole who was in my group, and I remember her talking a little bit about her struggles and like she has a special needs child, and me kind of just being like, well, I don't understand, like, how, if you're spiritual, how do you again reconcile that? Like, how do you find, like, okay, well, God would allow this? And she was like, well, I really feel like God brought me him because he knew that he needed me. Like, I have the tools and the knowledge and the patience and everything I need to be able to take care of him. And like that also like unclicked something in my mind, like it's not really about the child, more so about the relationship and more so about God bringing him into like an environment that he would thrive in rather than not, so.
Exactly. I think she had a similar conversation with Tori as well.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
It very well is. Have you, in your Christian walk, I know it's been shorter so far, and that's okay. Has there been like a Bible verse or any like principle that like you found that's guided you during sometimes?
I don't remember the exact,
Scripture?
I know it's like I can do all things through God who strengthens me.
Oh, John 3:16. Yes.
Yeah, that I say to myself probably once a day. Like if there's something going on, I'm like, it's all right. I can do all things through God who strengthens me. So that's definitely been my what I say the most often. But honestly, believe it or not, ChatGPT. Okay, I'm a big proponent of ChatGPT. I will sometimes ask ChatGPT for specific scriptures dealing with something, and it's brought me so many different parts of the Bible that I haven't explored yet.
Yeah.
I have like a note in my phone of things like when I'm anxious or when I'm scared or when I'm stressed, and like specific scriptures that have really spoken to me. But I would say most often that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good baseline. Like,
Yeah.
And then you go into it. I remember seeing a while ago, it might have been on Facebook or Instagram, that there was a note that said probably most, if not everything, that you're going to encounter in life is actually documented in the Bible.
Right.
And it did say like specifically, well, it wasn't ChatGPT. It was, I guess somebody had compiled it.
Right.
But also like going through like this is what happened with Moses. This is what happened with Job, and going through like each individual person, like they experienced anxiety, they experienced all these different things, and it's like, wow, I'm not alone, and this is stuff that actually did happen.
Right. Like an example. This is how you'll come out on top.
There was, I forget exactly which one specifically, but maybe it was Matthew. I'm not 100% sure, or I could be mistaking it. They actually believe like one of them actually had autism.
Oh wow!
Based on like the way he like
the way he's
they
presented
spoke
in the
and
Bible.
wrote.
Wow.
Like they're actually like, no, he could actually have autism, like the way this is written.
Yeah.
So, but also going translating, from 3 different languages to English now, and from Portuguese, some things are harder to say in a different language.
Yeah.
So, but I know that was still being investigated and things like that. But it's cool to know, like, wow, like things like this over decades, centuries,
Yeah.
like it so relatable and able to just, keep up. And,
Yeah.
there's stuff too, and I'm not alone.
And I think also you mentioned the translation. That to me was mind blowing.
Yeah.
The different translations of the Bible. Like once I found one that I could understand and read, I was like, oh, this is real English. Like I was so used to like, thou art, like, you know
King
what I
James,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah. It was like when I read it and it was like something I could actually read and try to comprehend.
Yeah.
I was like, where has this been my whole life? Truly. It's so weird.
Do you have a translation you prefer right now?
New Living Translation.
NLT.
Yeah.
Yeah, we read that here mainly at
Yeah,
local
that's kind of
church.
how I got. I did try a couple others, but some of them were, that's the one I've been reading the most often.
There's the Message, which gives you like a more like direct interpretation. We'll bounce between that and NLT a lot. In small groups, we've done that. But there is a cool one. I have to find it. I'll find it after. That it actually like talks like almost Gen Z language.
Oh,
It's
wait. So I actually have done that on ChatGPT.
Yeah?
Like translate this for me in like Gen Z, and it'll be like, "Yo, bro." Like it's really funny. I've sent it to Emily. I've been like, "Look, we got to do some of this." She's like, "All right, Eunice, relax your ChatGPT." But it like, it reframes it. You know what I mean? Sometimes I read something and I have to read it 3 times. I'm like, "What is going on here?" And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Can you just like dumb this down for me?" And then I read it again in a different frame of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
It's great. And being a person of language, I'm going to say, of different background, translating it over your brain's naturally like doing that. So, I guess also a frame of mind. So to give you some background of me a little bit.
Yeah.
Before I got into tech, I actually was going to be a linguistic major. I was going to be a translator. I knew a bunch
That's
of
kinda
languages.
cool.
At the time, my wife will shoot me down now saying it. Like, stop boasting about it. I used to know 12 languages.
You're done 12?
I used to know 12 languages, like be able to bounce between. It was like the standard Latin.
Wouldn't they get confusing though?
After a while, they did, but
I
I was
know
able
3,
to
and I took
dictate
French, and
it a
I
little
would
bit.
I would answer like different languages, and the French teacher would be like, "What are you doing? Like this is Portuguese." I'm like, "Oh, whoops."
I never learned Portuguese, even though my neighbor actually growing up was Portuguese. So
Oh.
I used to hear it, but I never like picked up like what it was. I knew Spanish, Italian, French. I'm forgetting. I had a friend who was Lithuanian, so I learned her language because we worked together.
Wow.
What else? Russian a little bit. I tried learning Chinese. Chinese is a whole different
I
monster.
know, but they
It's
say that's like
English.
the best one to know.
Yeah.
Because there's so many,
There was just a bunch that I was picking up, and that into my testimony. Well, I'll do another day. But
Okay.
my life shifted
Right.
from being a translator into being a tech person.
That's still a cool skill to have. Like
Yeah.
it's very hard to just like pick up languages. So
Yeah.
I feel like because you have the basis of it,
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
it changes the way you frame your mind. And I actually found, I don't know, actually. This might be funny, and don't take it the wrong way at all. I want to say that. So I was an Italian major from like 7th grade to like 12th grade. Like I studied, that was like my language in school that I learned. And I picked up Spanish, I think like 10th or 11th grade. Like I started taking Spanish as like my secondary. And I found myself better doing math. I'm not even kidding. Like
What?
I
They're like
researched.
uno más uno es
They-
dos.
They said like there's a there's a correlation between like knowing Spanish and your brain does better with numbers.
Interesting.
I don't know, like it does something in your
I wonder
brain.
if that's why, because some of the school districts with like more diverse populations will offer like bilingual, like not even like they're English, like they were born here, but then they take Spanish for several years, and then they
Yeah.
start doing different like English or not English, obviously, but like math or science in the different language to even become like better at it. I wonder if that's part of why they do that.
Maybe.
It's pretty interesting.
I gotta double check on the study of it, but it
Yeah.
is interesting. Yeah,
That is fascinating.
I know I was struggling in math, and as soon as I like started taking Spanish, like some clicked, and I was like, man, unless it was just timing, but I had a feeling it was the language.
I think I'd
with
be bad in math, whether it's in English or Spanish or Portuguese. I'm so bad. It's like the biggest misconception about accountants. Like,
Yeah.
they always give us the bill, and I'm like, no, you don't. I use a computer for everything. Excel is my best friend. You know,
Yeah.
we're not doing that.
It's great. So as we wrap up here, do you have any advice you'd like to give someone who might be struggling with trusting God right now? taking on a little serious note now, but
yeah.
if somebody walked in the door right now and said, what could you, without hearing their story possibly, what could you give them advice on?
I think definitely I would say the advice given to me, talk to him like you would a friend, like he is your friend. I think also find a community that you can rely on. I think going to church has brought me a lot, but most of all, a community of people that I could text or call. I just know at the end of the day, I don't need anything, but if I did, I could call any of them and they would pick up right away. So I feel, even if it was like I'm just confused about something or I need to talk something out, I think developing that relationship is ideal with God, but then doing so in a community just strengthens your confidence, your life, and in general, that's what I would suggest.
That's so awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Is there anything else you'd like to share here on the podcast before we wrap up our time?
I would say definitely find a translation of the Bible that you can rely on, that you can enjoy. Use ChatGPT if you need it. There's no shame. And I think in general, just try to pray more so every day rather than only when you need it. That'll help strengthen your relationship. Just like your kids, like you're a parent. If my daughter came to me every time she only needed something, I'd be like, but when she comes and she hugs you at the end of the day, it's just like different, it's like that. It's just that confirmation of your relationship. So I feel like, when I pray to God, that's a hug I'm giving him. And I feel like then when I need something, I feel more confident in praying for help rather than just doing it once in a blue. So
that's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
I really
you for being on,
appreciate
Eunice.
it. No problem.
Awesome. Thank you guys for coming on today. Can't wait to see you next week. And we got a couple more special guests lining up. Thank you, Eunice, for being here today. And please don't forget to comment, subscribe, share this with your friends, social media, all that. And we'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Bye.